And to the Thick House for the first public performance of Mary Knoll's new play, To Be Merry or Hot Cross the Albatross. As everybody here probably agrees, a new play has to be presented before a live audience. Thank you for being here to fulfill that function. And it'll help Mary understand how it feels and how it sounds. And that's the only way to get a new play going. And the real purpose, of course, is to entertain and engage you. So thank you very much. And hopefully future audiences will also see it. And we know it will because it's going to be having a slot in the 2012 San Francisco Fringe Festival. Tonight, we're going to have a brief talk back. If anyone of you like to come back and have a comment or discuss anything in it briefly. This is a developmental reading. However, you may notice that Mary has gotten pretty familiar with the material. I will be holding book anyway. So thank you very much. And now Three Girls Theater Company presents a developmental reading of To Be Merry or Hot Cross the Albatross by Mary Knoll.
For the whole human race, I could swear I was falling in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. From the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. I would swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. I believe. Yes. That song is from the musical Brigadoon, isn't it? Weird. Because it doesn't sound like Scottish or anything to me. Brigadoon! I don't really care enough to, like, Google it or anything. I'm not a musical theater geek. I just don't... Well, the musicals are so stupid now. Ooh, I need to pay the rent. Ooh, I need to get a job and pay the rent. Ooh, but I'm an edgy young person who doesn't want to get a job and pay the rent. Ooh. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Rent. Maybe it's great, but isn't it just like a ruined La Boheme? And I heard like a minute, second of the music, and it sounds stupid and self-absorbed and really young and cool and edgy, and I'm not hip enough to even buy a ticket. But I know that the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for is from Brigadoon. Even though it doesn't sound like Scotland to me at all. I like the book, the novel, Wicked, a lot. Dark, funny, scary, and just smart and dangerous and safe and sweet and mean, all at the same time. And then I heard like a minute second from this big box office Wicked, and the witches are like, I don't know, cute young girls or something, and that just isn't witches. To me. And okay, I haven't seen it. Maybe it's great. And then there's like these, what are they? Like dysfunctional family musicals or something? I mean, where's the song? There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The horn is as high as an elephant's eye. But it's not just, oh, what a beautiful morning. It's big dance numbers and jazz hands and grand themes and synchronized dancing. Not this. What is this? Homeless schizophrenia. And okay, I haven't seen it. Maybe it's great. And tales Tales of the City. Oh, you remember that one? I didn't see it. But oh, are they trying to ruin those books? Like they ruined Wicked and La Boheme. I was probably about 10 years old. Couldn't have been much older than 10, because Dad died when I was 12. That, I remember. Don't need to Google that one. Because I remember him, them, all of them. So I was probably about 10 years old when Dad stood me on a chair in our living room and taught me how to project. Tan hot, tan hot, louder, right, tan hot. I thought I was pretty damn loud, standing on the chair in my living room with my living father, who is now dead, shouting, tan hot, hey, right, left, right, left, oh. Right, left, right, left, right, left. He was louder, much louder than I. Louder! It's powerful to recall older. I mean older than he lived, older than his life allowed. I am 8 years older. I stand here on this chair to be exact, older than my father ever lived. Yet 8 years older I live right now, remembering this young man, probably at least a little bit tipsy, standing his daughter on a chair. Why? To make me feel bigger than I was? Shouting, booming in his own living room, teaching his very young daughter to tan hot. I mean, he had not the experience, well, who knows really, but he had not simply the years that I have now. Tan hot. He walked over to me, standing on the chair in the living room, yelling, ooh. Now bear in mind, this would not be allowed if my mom, his wife, had been home. She must have been out playing bridge or shopping or who the fuck knows really, or cares. This whole thing, this whole episode, this whole decision he made to stand me on a chair, to make me feel bigger than I was, would not have happened if Mom, his wife, my mother, this young man's wife, had been home. But she wasn't, so. Tad hot. He walked over to me, standing on the chair, and patted me right here, right above my belly. Oh, don't worry, please. He patted me right here, right under the ribs, and said, "You boom from here, little girl." I was confused. "Your noise comes from your diaphragm, which is right here. Your diaphragm, not your mouth, girl. Open that up and breathe. Open that up, breathe, and let me hear that sound. You got it in you, girl. Let it out." So I... Ta-da! Good, great. You got it. If you're going to command the troops, you need a voice. We can't listen if we can't hear you. You need a voice. You can't command the troops without a voice. Ta-da! Good, great. You gotta get down. Bedtime. Your mom's gonna be home soon. Ta-da! Good, great. Get down, bed. Brush your teeth. I love you. I love you too. So I guess I went to bed, wanting more, disappointed and excited. But sure, there were more lessons to come. Although I guess there were not, as he died a few years later, and we didn't have much time alone. We didn't have much time left, did we, from that moment of tan hut, till the moment he died. But hey, maybe I got it. Lessons learned, right? And really, I do know that cute young girls singing boring pop songs are not witches. Even though I do kind of like that song, "Popular, you're gonna be popular." But even that is lame. Compared to something like, Maria, I just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly that name will never be the same, or to fight for the right, question or cause, be willing to march into hell for a heavenly Man of La Mancha. See, Man of La Mancha is a real musical, and my father loved it. He'd play the album over and over and over again and sing. He wasn't really a very good singer. I mean, you know, he didn't have a very nice voice, but he boomed it out. Passion, emotion, strength. If you're going to command the troops, you need to be heard. At least he had the decency to be heard. And I loved being in church with Dad, and also a little embarrassed. Which was kind of exciting. Because when they'd play a song he liked, say for instance, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He have trampled down the vintage where the grapes of wrath. His youth is marching on 10 hot. He belted out, perhaps in tune, perhaps not, with no shame. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. 10 huts. Command the troops. Command the hoops. Perhaps that's what he meant, my father. Perhaps he actually meant command the hoops. and just misspoke. Hula hooping is actually quite good for you, I understand. Not just physically, but like karmically or something. I mean, I guess it strengthens the abs. Ooh, the abs. But I read on some hippy-dippy website when I was Google imaging hula hooping that when one seriously hoops the hula, you are gathering strength. I think some sort of sexy strength, if I remember correctly, from the waves of the cosmic universe. But seriously hula hooping, not playfully. God forbid you hula hoop playfully. That might disturb the cosmos or something. But when you seriously hoop the hula, you are in tune with all the sexy, wavy strength of the universe. Who needs more of that shit, I say? Sex is strong enough, Jesus. Do we really need the sex urge to be stronger in this world? Just what the world needs, more kittens. And I love sex, which is why I know the urge does not need to be stronger. So of course I wonder as I hula hoop if Muammar Gaddafi. Yes, Muammar Gaddafi, another dead father. I wonder if Muammar Gaddafi stood his daughter on a chair and taught her how to project. Probably not, but maybe. Did Gaddafi even have a daughter? I know he had like 8 bazillion sons. I guess his sex urge was strong enough even without the hula hoop, eh? And I believe he had who may or may not have been taught by her 6-year father to find her voice and command the troops. To make a lot more sense for Muammar Gaddafi to teach his offspring, even the female ones, to learn how to command the troops, as his children may have actually needed this skill in the future. Whereas I might benefit a bit by practicing on the hula hoop. Not for the sexy strength, but for the ab workout. Because as we all know, sexy abs defines sexy woman. Command the hoops. I wonder about Gaddafi. And other dead fathers. And their domestic happiness and tranquility. Because I suffer from the delusion that all human beings are fundamentally the same. There must be something wrong with me. Fundamentally. But you know, we all eat and have sex and want to feel love and need to feel special. And have children that we love and parents that drive us insane and hot cross the albatross. It's all a game of love and loss. That's what I'm talking about. These stories make me really thirsty. Line?
Oh, no, yeah, I know. There are superstitions.
Oh, yeah. I know there are superstitions and systems of belief and superstitious systems of belief. But fundamentally, isn't the intimate experience of being human very quite similar? Or am I simply delusional? And really, does it matter? Hot cross the albatross, it's all a game of love and loss. Except for, of course, those wonderful moments of the mundane, where we must tote that barge, lift that bale, get a little drunk, and you land in jail. Gets weary, sick of trying. I'm tired of living and skiing hard dying on Old Man River. He just keeps rolling along. Another one of my dead father's favorite songs to sing. Of course, he sang it when he was alive, not dead. At least I don't believe he was a singing zombie. But as a matter of fact, I do not know if he is still singing it. Even though he is, well, dead still. The sun is red, the moon is black. Daddy's never coming back. But Old Man River, now that's from Showboat. A real musical with real songs that addresses tragic, enduring love, tap dancing, ambition, Captain Andy, racism. How about that shit, huh? That's a good one. Like my grandma. My Grandma Rose was this amazing, hilarious, generous, parrot-loving spirit trapped inside this woman of the Catholic village world. Grandma. My brother Hal and I spent the night at her house a lot. Probably nearly every weekend for a while. I wonder why. I wonder what was going on at home. We were probably too loud by that point, testament to our father's lessons. He was probably like, man, why did I think that was such a good idea? Anyway, we loved spending the night at Grandma's. We'd stay up super late and play gin rummy and eat nuts. Planters mixed. and drink orange soda and eat candy. These little, like, wrapped in plastic, white, chewy candies. Rocks candies. B-R-A-C-H-S. I think. Tiny colored fruity dots in them. Oh, they were great. And Grandma would drink wine. Mogan David, to be exact. Is that wine still around even?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember getting sick drunk on Grape MD 2020 when I was in high school. I still can't chew grape-flavored gum. But is MD 2020 still a wine around? Is it a round wine? We played gin rummy and a game she taught us called Spite and Malice, which she loved, and she beat the crap out of us. You didn't see that one coming, did you? I saw you not seeing that one coming. That really was her voice, by the way. She'd answer the telephone, Shatner's residence. And then we'd hear, no. This is Mrs. Shatner. She thought it was funny. We'd play cards, and Grandma'd burp, and fart, and go, oh, hell, and she'd go, Grandma, and she'd go, rootin' tootin'. And when we got up in the morning, her parrot, Daisy, would say, Guten Morgen. And sounded just like Grandma. And she cut us these super thin slices of pale orange cantaloupe and let us eat sugary cereal as long as we had some cantaloupe. But when we played in her family room, Hal and I would close the blinds. Her family room was really more like a closed-in porch and had huge windows, like middle-of-the-wall-to-ceiling windows on all three walls. And Hal and I had closed the blinds for some special effect, and Grandma would come in and say, kind of mad, too, don't close the blinds during the daytime. People will think colored people live here. Huh? First of all, what are colored people? And secondly, what could the blinds being opened or closed possibly have to do with them? I asked Dad, and boy did that open up a can of fucking confusing worm. Your grandmother comes from a different time and place. And there is nothing we can do to change her mind about certain things. But she is wrong about that. And we do not talk or even think like that in our household. You children must simply ignore your grandmother when you hear things like that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But what is all that shit about the blinds? I still don't get it, but never mind. Sorry I asked. Dad worked for Legal Aid, which provides free legal services for poor people. He was a lawyer for Legal Aid in the 60s and 70s in St. Louis, Missouri, till he died. Then he stopped. Got laid out. Old Man River, he just keeps rolling along. Showboat! You're not going to see Showboat anywhere around town because no small professional theater companies can do it anymore because there's like got to be a boat on stage. And the singing talent must be operatic. But it's a great musical. So get the soundtrack, rent the movie, put it on your Netflix queue. But you know, we all love our children. In fact, our children, my children, more precisely, your children, are the most precious children that have ever been known to mankind. That's just the truth. The human truth. Biology, I guess, but regardless of what makes it happen, it is the truth. And all semi-normal people feel exactly the same way about their families, their precious families. And sometimes it makes me feel better to think about the rest of the world and how lucky I am that, especially as a girl, I was born in the great US of A. Because I am definitely a very privileged, white, colored person. Suffering, disease, violence, plaguing the rest of the world. My whining stops in its tracks when I think of the people, and the daily suffering they endure with the tsunamis and floods and hurricanes and famine and drought and angry men with angry guns in Libya and Israel and Palestine and Somalia and Syria. And still, all those people out there enduring, they most probably attain some kind of intimacy, some kind of happiness. And I feel small and stupid and whining. And then sometimes I am sure I must most certainly be the saddest person in the world. Then I have a cigarette and try to think about something else. How it could be worse and see the showboat. That's old Captain Andy's cotton blossom. Will you go? This is my parasol. Let me take you. Be delighted, now it's twirling, but to my place, I'll have to get Mama, get permission from Papa. It helps to attain a certain amount of smugness. Have you noticed that? Being smug, being right, helps us all feel better about our lives and our choices, does it not? Like having a cigarette, that's a good one. I just admitted that I smoke. I said that I have a cigarette, which means I smoke cigarettes. I'm not saying I'm smug about smoking cigarettes. In fact, sometimes I think of my smoking as a public service. When I'm on the street smoking a cigarette, those people who make the right choices, the better choices, the healthy choices, can walk by me and look down on my smoking and feel really good about themselves. And the good choice, the right choice, the healthy choice they've made for themselves by choosing not to smoke. Well, I would never smoke. And they walk proudly on into their offices, feeling really good about themselves. And then they go on with their day's duties, feeling really good and strong and right. And that's got to be helping the overall positive energy of the whatever, right? It's a public service, my smoking. Just makes people feel better about themselves. I'm not smug about my wrong choices, my bad choices, my unhealthy choices. I'm not smug at all. They're just my choices, just what I choose. But other people are quite smug about not smoking, not drinking, and not taking prescription drugs that have been prescribed to them. That I might enjoy. The least they can do is share. You all need to share now. That's a big fucking deal, isn't it? When you're a toddler, what we all teach our toddlers now. Share with your sister. But I don't want to share. It's mine. I don't care if it's yours. You need to share, or you are in big trouble. But it's mine. Big fight, big stupid fight, big punishment, big stupid punishment. Put them in their room. Hear them go, I hate my mommy. She is the worst mom in the whole wide world. Go ahead and hate me then. Until you learn to share. So we make this whole movie. We create this big drama because they didn't share their goddamn stickers or blocks or paper dolls or fluffy bunnies or chocolate foo-foos. Well, they need to learn to share. Big fight with our poor, raw little toddlers. Well, they need to share. Really? Really? Is that really what we want our children to do? Is that really what we grown-ups do? Is that really, really, really what any people actually really do? So, we have this big fight with our 2-year-olds to teach them to share their goddamn ABC blocks with their sister, and then nobody shares anything with anybody. Or hardly anything at all with anybody at all. Oh yeah, it's okay to share your toys or your food or your money with your sister or your brother or your spouse. And sometimes with your friends, but even that's... Mary. Yeah, Mom? Where is your Gilligan's Island lunchbox? I gave it to Jenny. What do you mean you gave it to Jenny? She liked it. She said she wanted a Gilligan's Island lunchbox. But she always wanted a Gilligan's Island lunchbox. So I thought I'd give her my Gilligan's Island lunchbox. I shared. Well, now doesn't Jenny have her own lunchbox? Doesn't she? Now let me ask you this, little miss. Now that Jenny has your Gilligan's Island lunchbox, what are you going to do for a Gilligan's Island lunchbox? Where are you going to put your lunch? Well, we'll get another one. How are we going to do that? We'll go to the dime store and buy them. Who's gonna pay for that? You? Oh. So I guess you go without a lunchbox. Oh. So really, we're not supposed to share? Even though we got in really big trouble for not sharing, really? Except for, of course, with those intimates, those in your close family who are in the protected, sheltered, pretty small circle of individuals when you consider the vast amount of people who may want or actually need a Gilligan's Island lunchbox. Because if you share it, you don't have it anymore. And it's not theirs. It's mine! We really don't want our children to share much of anything. If I were a very ordinary, everyday thing, I wouldn't be heard cock-a-doodling on like a bird, but naturally, what are you doing? I'm just doing this. Since I discovered the cleverness of that remarkable bee. Oh, stop it. You look silly doing that here. Well, we're just here. We're not like a church or anything. How can I hide it when deep down inside it just tickles me so that I gotta let go? And people will think you're foolish. Do you want people to call you stupid? You're not stupid, are you? No. They made fun of me for wearing these pants. I love these Matchbox print, great big, huge, bell-bottom, hip-hugger pants. But they made fun of me. If you dress like that, if you talk like that, if you tell that joke, if you share that story, it's a crazy story, by the way. Nobody thinks clouds are made of soft blue and white pennies all mixed together with orange soda. And especially if you sing that song like that, people will make fun of you, and that doesn't feel very good, does it? No. Protection. We protect them, our children. Yeah. We protect ourselves. Because it's mine! So yeah, we learn pretty quick, don't we? It's best not to share. Sharing is make-believe. I love you, only make-believe that you love me. There is some peace of mind in pretending. Couldn't you, couldn't I, couldn't we make believe? Don't ever smoke, Grandma would say, lighting her cigarette outside a Steak and Shake. It's a disgusting, filthy, expensive habit. But smoke. Don't smoke. We all are mortal. I mean, that's the thing, though, really. Do non-smokers really believe if they don't smoke, they're not going to die some kind of horrible, painful death? Like when I talk with colleagues or acquaintances, you know, people, about my little brother living with HIV. And about how my brother Hal eventually died from some horrific science fiction-y complications from this virus. These colleagues or acquaintances, notice I did not use the phrase friends here. These people look me straight in the face and say, was he gay? Well, more importantly, he had sex. Don't you, or don't you? She died of heart disease. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's just too bad. Did she smoke? But it's not just sober non-smokers who embrace smugness. It's like everybody. I guess it must make us feel better, right? Like parents, mothers, especially pregnant women. I mean, oh my God, you're just pregnant, dude. People have babies all over the world in all sorts of circumstances. And of course, I think it's cool and amazing and all that good stuff. But I also think it's cool and amazing when I find a bird's egg in a nest. Oh, in fact, I probably think it's more cool and amazing to find a bird's egg in a nest than to see a pregnant, privileged, white, colored person in the USA with all their rules. Oh, man. Don't drink, don't smoke, eat milk, but not cheese, or only goat cheese, and only that if it's organic. And sleep a bazillion hours a week, and still be tired, and complain, and whine, but only in complete sentences. Never drink, never curse, avoid negativity, protect your back, and step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back. Which I often secretly, try to do. You see, I suppose I believed superstitions like most children. And if I didn't exactly believe them, I thought they were fun and kind of magic-y. And my mom, who could be a very good mom, by the way, she took very good care of us. As there were 5 children. Can you imagine? 5 children. That's just ridiculous. But as there were 5 of us, she would occasionally take each one of us out on a date so that we could spend time with her alone. And on one date with Mom, we went paddle boating in Forest Park. And even though it was a Tuesday, she sang, "Cruising down the river on a Sunday afternoon. With one you love, the stars above are waiting for the moon. Cruising down the river on a Sunday afternoon." But Mom, it's Tuesday! Just me and Mary cruising down the river now today. Tuesday. But she's a mom, right? Sometimes her guidance didn't exactly jibe with what I wanted to do. So, when my siblings and I played Step on a Crack, You'll Break Your Mother's Back, I often, accidentally, on purpose, stepped on a crack, or tried to step on a crack and miss. It's amazing how uncoordinated you are as a child. Like getting soap in your eye. When I was a kid, I got soap in my eye when bathing, like, all the time. And it's like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. And my mom would come running in and I'd be writhing in pain and she'd go, oh, you just got soap in your eye. Soap in my eye? Oh my God, it hurts so bad. I was dreadfully afraid of taking a bath for fear of the evil soap in my eye. Now, I hardly ever get soap in my eye. I haven't gotten soap in my eye in like decades. Anyway, uncoordinated children. I remember secretly trying to step on a crack and not being able to, and really pissed that I missed that crack and determined to get the next crack so I would break my mother's back. Damn! I missed that crack. I'll get the next one. Let's see if I can break her back. I want to break her back. Not really, though. And certainly not out loud. These were the secret thoughts. Shh. On the outside, I said nothing and pretended to avoid the cracks because it would be awful to break your mother's back. Or would it? Tee-hee. I wanted to find out. I never did, by the way, break her back. Even though I'm pretty sure I stepped on a lot of cracks. Because, remember, my mom, who was not home when my then alive, now dead father stood me on a chair to help me find my voice. My mom, ooh, primal shit, dude, moms, dads. But that's what I mean. We've all got those, moms and dads. Whether they are around or not, we've all got those. Mom was not home when Dad played like this with me because he knew and I knew. We could not play like this when she was home because she would disapprove. Step on a crack. Once upon a time, when I was 21 years old, I came home one afternoon after deciding not to have an abortion and said to my mother, Mom, I need to talk to you. I'm pregnant. I don't think I felt at all smug, by the way. Come to think of it, there was a complete absence of smugness throughout my entire pregnancy. Imagine that. And let's see, can I remember my mother's response? What did this 50-year-old woman say to her youngest daughter, who was already full of shame, weeping and pregnant? Let's see if I can recall. All right. She looked me straight in the eye, waited until my shame and grief were pushed back enough so that her words could get through, waited very patiently, to her credit, until my emotions were not so present, so I could completely take in her carefully chosen words. She said, "I'm glad your father isn't alive to see this." "Mom! He would be so ashamed. And your grandmother, too." "Mom! They're rolling around in their graves." Whatever that means. The shame. Yeah, and she went on from there in the same vein. I didn't hear a lot of it, partially because I started thinking about Grandma. And if she were alive, she would be so cool. And she might be mad at me a little, but only because she liked Paul, a boyfriend I broke up with. And she'd be mad not that I was pregnant, but that I wasn't pregnant with Paul's baby. And if she were around, I could spend the night at her house. We could play Spite and Malice. And even though Mom is telling me Grandma was to be ashamed, I'm not so sure Mom was right about that. So I didn't hear a lot of what she said after that, but you know, she said something about how she and my father didn't do a lot of lecturing to their children on how to live their lives, which was not exactly true. But I accepted it at the time, weeping, shamed, and pregnant, that she and Dad lived their lives in a fashion that she'd hoped would be an example. And obviously this didn't work, particularly with me, as I now proved to her that I did not know how to live properly, and I was a liar. And she was glad my dad was dead. She saw how effective this phrase was on me as I reeled with my own weeping. So she repeated it. And she was glad my dad was not alive to see what a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Well, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. I could swear I was falling in love. So yeah, I don't know. If my daughter came home and told me she was pregnant, my daughter, who I know had lost her beloved father and beloved grandmother at a young age, my daughter who was not a stranger to pain, I'm not so sure I would respond in the same fashion my mother responded. I'm not sure I think this is a very nice way to respond to such information. In fact, I think it's kind of bitchy. But I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe it's great. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. Memories. Midnight, not a song from the pavement, as the moon lost from memories. Blah, 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 blah. Cats. Our lives are completely and totally made up of moments. Some moments encompass a great amount of pain, which tends to grab our attention. Oh my God! It hurts so bad! And then there are those other moments which are somehow sadly so much more easily forgotten. Where you open your front door and see an amazing sunset in the making. Or even better, you see your 17-year-old son see that sunset about to be born. And watch him make the decision to abandon his video game and run out the door to the ocean where he'll be closer to the magic. Or where you open your door to a thick fog outside and walk into it and look back at your door and wonder, if I leave my door open, will my apartment be filled with this fog? This wonderful fog? Shall I open my door to this fog? Or moments where as a child, as a young little girl, you looked into your brother's eyes and laughed with joy at that wonderful, hilarious secret. both sat in church, bored, on a sweaty, hot St. Louis 11 o'clock mass on a Sunday, and saw a June bug crawling in the sprayed, teased hair of the woman in the pew in front, and see her discover the bug and try to rid herself of the vermin while maintaining proper 11 o'clock mass behavior. I believe my mother pinched my arm so badly it broke my skin. I did not care. My brother Hal and I were constant play companions growing up, truly constant, morning till night. And this is what we played together, a lot. Princess Dress Up. I was Princess M, and he was Halina. We played paper dolls. Come to think of it, Hal liked paper dolls a lot more than I did, and he had a huge collection. The Carmen Miranda paper dolls were Hal's personal favorites, although her hats never stayed on, which was frustrating, you know. Because she's Carmen Miranda. Mama quiero, in the South American way. Chicka boom, boom, boom. Carmen Miranda. Hal loved playing paper dolls so much that he'd bargain he'd only play Barbie with me. He never really liked Barbie very much. If we played paper dolls first. Then there were the ballets. Hal and I performed our originally choreographed ballets for our parents after dinner. Doesn't every family? Actually, I choreographed them because I was older and bossy, but Hal loved them, and he was an amazing, emotionally expressive dancer. Bear in mind, neither of us knew how to dance. We were just imitating the ballet dancers we saw on TV. And we were little. Hal was probably 6 or 7, I was 9 or 10. The Nutcracker Suite was our ballet music of choice. We rehearsed elaborate ballets with our own personally imagined storylines and then nagged our parents until they agreed to be our audience. None of our other 3 siblings watched, by the way, even though they were invited. Our ballets were not short. We made up dances to every single song on that album. Both sides. We never got to finish. We probably only danced to like half a song before our parents would erupt in applause and say, "That was great, guys, great. We could see the rest another time, though." In my mind, it was always Hal's fault because he had screwed something up. That was not when you were supposed to come out and jump. That was when you were supposed to do that turny, skippy thing, which never daunted Hal's spirits one bit. "I don't care," he'd say, and then dance what he had imagined, which was always really great and completely outside the realm of my imagination because it was more like a boys' dance, and mine was just girly. You see, and that's the thing. Even though he liked all the girly stuff, he was still a boy. We played girly games. Except babies. He never liked babies. The closest I could get him to playing babies was playing with stuffed animals, and that's really not the same thing at all. He played girly games, but he played them like a boy. He did other boy things, too, that shocked and amazed me. Like, he and his friend Michael would stand on the picnic table in the backyard, naked, and see who could pee the furthest. It was amazing and hilarious. And he was just rougher than most girls are, but not in a mean, rough way, in a strong, rough way, like a boy. Like a brave little boy, which he was. And a brave man. And his musical acts in the Mary and Hal variety show also performed after dinner for our parents without our siblings, who were invited. Well, while I chose to sing and dance too. But it was Mary, Mary, here's my parasol again, long before the fashions came. There is something there that sounds so fair. It's a old name. Hal choreographed his strong march-like dance to his belted-out rendition of Over There, Over There. Send the word to beware that the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming. They'll be drumming everywhere. And then we'd go play paper dolls. What is better than that? Years later, when he was about 19, Hal approached me with that red, shaky, upset face I knew so well. I looked up at him, my 6-foot-tall little brother. Being his most trusted big sister, I had seen this Hal upset face many times before, and although immediately worried, of course, I was also wary. Hal was a drama queen. He had that about to cry, contorted face on, and I was like, Hal, okay, what's wrong, honey? Mary, I have something important to tell you. What, Hal, what is it? Mary? He took his dramatic pause. I think I'm gay. He looked at me, face still about to burst, eyes searching my eyes for a reaction, and I said, well, duh. He exploded in tears and laughter, and I watched his mascara stream down his face. Poor Hal. So much torment, so much agony, all over sex. Sex. You know, like when he was 13 years old, he came home after a rehearsal and we were hanging out in the bathroom for some reason. Actually, I was probably playing with my hair and makeup. I've always been incredibly vain, according to my mother. And I saw his face in the mirror and he looked sad or wrong or upset or how was rehearsal, Hal? They called me fag. Who did? I was ready to kill whoever did, by the way. Linda. Well, she's a fucking idiot bitch. But I don't know if I am. Oh, hell. Don't worry about it, please. And she's my friend. Friends. Was he gay? Over there. Send the word to beware. For the Yanks are coming. The Yanks are coming. They'll be drumming everywhere. Do you know that one? It's from a movie musical starring James Cagney. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh my God. My dad loved that one. So did Hal. Yankee Doodle Dandy. I wonder why. I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy, a Yankee Doodle do-or-die, a real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle, she's my beautiful. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride a pony. I am that Yankee Doodle boy. I work as a bartender, by the way. At a hotel bar near the airport. And the other day, and yet another day, I recognized a young woman whom I had seen months before at the bar. You see, I remembered her because she came into my dark, somewhat fruit fly infested breezy bar. I mean by breezy that light, chilly winds flow constantly throughout my bar space. And my customers move from one end of the bar to the other. Is it less chilly down here, you think? Can I move down here where there's less of a breeze, you think? And they move from bar stool to bar stool to bar stool. Like some kind of weird, spontaneous musical chairs game. And I'm like, yeah, it is kind of chilly in here. I don't know if it's less breezy down there. You tell me, because, you know, I'm the bartender. I don't sit out there. Anyway, she came in, this youngish woman, months ago. She came into my bar, looking for food, wine, and refuge. I liked her. Something about her eyes, I think. We got on. We were like Chicago, St. Louis. So much snow. I do not miss that shit. My ex-husband. Oh, you're kidding me. It's complicated. Oh, I know, right? My brother. Your brother, really? Yeah. He's gone off the deep end, I think. So has mine. Your brother, really? Yeah. Really. So I remembered her. She came in months later, actual months later, and just the other day, as a matter of fact. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And she said, you remember me? You've got a good memory. I said, nah, you're memorable. What? I said, you're memorable. She was flattered, clearly flattered, even though, well, of course I remembered her. We had this thing, right? But it makes me feel so proud or sad or something sublime and big and wonderful that I let her know that she was memorable because she enjoyed being remembered. See, and that's the thing. After a certain point in everybody's lives, we're all just this big ball of pain. Or rather, this big twirling hoop of pain. Hot cross the albatross, it's all a game of love and loss. And we're whipping around our world, bumping into one another, and because of manners, I guess. I mean, you don't want to bring anybody down, man. Really, thank goodness for manners. At least us parents had the decency to teach us basic manners. Back to that mom and dad again. But really, without manners, these big twirling hoops of pain might collide into one another and explode in some kind of emotional nuclear explosion, but we don't. Because of manners, or maybe we just get distracted. Ooh, look at that cute little puppy. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. Shit, I'm hungry. Yeah, I like caramel apples, but not candy apples. Have you seen the new Woody Allen movie, Go Giants? Whatever, distractions, right? Or perhaps this is some weird ambition, or if not, ambition, just plain old survival. I gotta buy diapers. I need a job. Baby needs a new pair of shoes, right? Tote that barge, lift that bale, get a little drunk, and you land in jail. I get weary and sick of trying. I'm tired of living, I'm scared of dying. But somehow we, these big twirling hoops of pain, we just smile our way through moments. Because we must. We have to. And we say, how you doing? And when we say, how you doing? We say, oh, okay. But my dad is kind of dying. Then my big hula hoop of pain understands your big twirl of pain and just whirls alongside your twirl and just goes on, I guess. Just goes on. I can't go on. I won't. Somehow, I guess. I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe it's great. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Well, it's almost like being in love. That's the end.